Okay. Now I'm ready for a roll call. Call to order at 8:01. All right, committee member Kavanaugh is absent. Foreman. Keith is absent. Katz.
Here.
Lynn, I see is absent. Malera, absent. Is Marisol coming?
If she is, she's coming remote. I haven't
Okay.
seen her yet.
Shake,
Here.
Vice Chair Baird,
Here.
and Chair Kasperzak.
Here.
So one of the Lynn's is not here, right? I'm here.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, the other
Yeah.
Lynn.
The other Lynn.
That's right, we have two Lyns in a row.
Right, Lynn.
Right, sorry, S Lynn.
So before we begin, I'm going to go off agenda for just a moment to announce that we now have a new economic vitality manager for the city of Mountain View, and it is none other than
They
I-
searched far and wide and then.
I was right here all along.
Yeah, I know.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
Well, and they did. I talked to Amanda a couple times, and it was a robust process, other outside applicants and stuff. So,
So then we got the best.
yeah, exactly. So congratulations.
Yeah,
So,
thank you. Yeah,
and,
I'm thrilled to be staying here and taking the helm. Big shoes to fill from John Lang, but really thrilled about the momentum that we've all built, working on our economic vitality strategy and some of our major initiatives in the downtown. So hopefully we'll be bringing on a staff member to replace me in my former position, and we'll get fully staffed back up again. So.
At which point, Amanda will just come in and watch us.
We'll see where all the pieces land in terms of, reallocating responsibilities. But for now, you're stuck with me, as I said to Mike.
Well, we are proud to be stuck with you. No, seriously, congratulations. That's
Yeah.
really good.
Thank
So,
you very much.
okay, back to the agenda. Item number 3 is minutes approval. If somebody would like to make a motion, that would be awesome.
I move that we accept the minutes as published.
Second.
I think Peter got it first.
Yeah.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The minutes pass unanimously. Number 4, upcoming agenda items. Amanda, do you want to speak to this? Just,
Yeah, I do have an upcoming agenda item, just to note, I recently was made aware of our council policy around committee member absences and what qualifies as an excused or unexcused absence. So I'll bring that next month, just sort of a refresher. I think we've been operating under a different understanding, and so just to make sure we all have the same information, I'll bring that with me next month. And then we do have a number of things that are on the current future agenda items list, but other things to note. We're still continuing to work on our economic vitality strategy. We have a council work plan item around vacancies. So I imagine that work will come here. We're working on a revolving loan program, which I'll be bringing to the committee. And then we are in the process of rolling out some of our implementation of our downtown parking strategy. So there's a lot of stuff that's sort of in the hopper, working its way to you all, in addition to some of the other items we have listed here.
okay.
Amanda, can I just ask one question? You mentioned relooking at our policy for the absences and things like that. Will you be reaching out individually to the folks who weren't here?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
Otherwise they won't.
Yes, absolutely. I'll follow up next month. Whoever's not here, I'll make sure that message gets out. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Good call, Peter.
Any other questions or any items that any members would like to see for future agenda that aren't already on this list?
Yeah, well, speaking as, okay, never mind, we have historical markers. I would just like to expand that to be more historical features as well as just a marker.
Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on. Oh, sorry, Jamil.
Okay, I thought there's a lot of community members mentioned about they come to downtown, but they have a problem where when they bring the parents who are elderly, they can bring them all the way to the intersection, but going back and forth. They have a problem, and that's why they don't come in, because they just can't take them to the different blocks if they want to walk to that. So it comes back to that. Remember I mentioned earlier, we should have to have a rickshaw or something running back and forth today, you know?
You're just, okay, just mobility generally, like.
Mobility, yeah, or some kind of means, so would be, I don't know how to add it, like, could we discuss it?
Are you talking about specifically on the ped mall, like ability to
Yeah,
cross
ped mall.
across the ped mall, like the mid-block crossings aren't sufficient for?
No, yeah, but I mean, they can park right there and then.
You're
Oh,
really
to
talking
get
about
parking.
stamina, not, you mean the ability to walk.
Yeah,
the
to walk,
distance,
yeah. Yeah,
Not like handicapped access or anything like
Yeah.
that, so.
it's still, and also the handicap access is not all the way down there, right at the entrance, it's farther up, you know, or come from. the
Well, I
back,
think
yeah.
all the corners are,
Yeah.
are,
I'm
are
fine.
ADA.
Right.
And there's,
corners.
yeah, because they mentioned that, that's why they don't come, they don't bring the.
So,
parents, you know.
but sort of like, so downtown mobility,
Mobility, yeah.
sort of something.
That would be nice, you know.
Okay,
Okay.
You know,
great. On the list.
All right,
thanks.
you're welcome. Next item on the agenda, item number 5 is oral communications from the public. This portion of the meeting is reserved for people wishing to address the committee on any matter not on today's agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, and state law prohibits the committee from acting on non-agendized items. Don't see any members of the public in the physical audience, and guessing there is nobody online.
Nobody online.
All right. Then we will close oral communications from the public and move on to item number 6, unfinished business, 6.1, downtown development update. Da, 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 da.
There he is.
So how much has happened over the summer?
Morning, everyone. Vincent Kwan, Associate Planner. So just to give you guys the downtown development update for since the break, since May. Not much has really changed, as I'm sure you guys have seen. Nothing really new has been approved. However, the only few new permits that have come in that are under review are for item number 20, which is for 115 Catfish Street. That's just for a minor facade modification to the storefront windows. That's the hummus location. So proposal for just some new modifications there. And then similarly, also at number 22, which is 682 Villa Street. Just some minor facade modifications to an existing commercial building that's off of Villa Street. Just kind of like a refresh for that one, for some material changes and some new window openings for that building. But aside from that, nothing much has changed, but I'm happy to answer any questions you guys may have. Yes.
My usual question about the, I think they're condos next to the post office.
I was just gonna ask about that. The PG&E permit?
Yeah, the PG&E permit.
Yeah.
It looks like, I think a little bit of construction fence came down or something's different, but it doesn't look any better as far as movement. Any updates on that?
Yeah, I'm not aware of anything new or any kind of updates on that. I can definitely get in touch with the project planner to see what the current status is. I'm aware that I think the close to being finished, but again, that was kind of what I mentioned last time. But like I mentioned again, that one did have some difficulties about like utilities and getting those all organized for the correct inspection, so that I'm not aware of anything else, but I'll get in touch with the project planner and I can try.
Yeah, if you could provide us an update, because that has been so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure the owner would like to be.
Unfortunately, we have no control over
I
PG&E.
know. I worked on a couple jobs like that. Okay.
And then for 171 to 175 Castro V.
Which item number is that?
Number 12.
Number 12. That's waiting on the dental on
Yeah, so the last I heard from the project planner about regarding that item is there's been some turnover in who the project applicant was. So there's a possibility that that may not move forward, but all that's just the last update we had was that there had been some turnover on the applicant team side. So there's a little uncertainty on how they'll proceed, but nonetheless, with our most recent update of the downtown precise plan, restaurant uses are permitted use. So if a new applicant does come in, or if the new applicant that purchased the property does come in, they'll have more streamlined approach to getting some sort of use or restaurant into that space if that's what they desire.
It's not necessarily a new development, but any word on the China Delight building? $6 million listing?
Yeah, last I heard, there were a number of interested buyers, but I don't know how those
They have
negotiations
price,
are
but-
progressing. Yeah.
And they finance it for them.
And then I was also talking to Ellis that the Robert Greene Hotel project still is a live project.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think.
they're still working on financing and all of that stuff, but
Yeah, I think technically it's still an live project where I think city staff has had communications with them, but that's as far as I'm aware.
yeah, I understood that the city is actually now quite a bit more interested in it because it actually could generate revenue for downtown.
Right,
and,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
so-
Hotel tax.
Yeah, so, great.
I want to put a plug in for the Downtown Digest. I thought putting the pictures of the completed, where the,
Cleaning?
well, no, where the grant has been
Oh.
used on the awnings was really very
Yes.
clever and very nice. I mean, it's cool. It's like, oh, look, that's really neat. And to give the extra kind of like pump to those businesses, I thought was really, really cool. And I'm just curious, so kudos. And then I was thinking, has anything happened with Ava's?
For facade.
Facade, yeah.
apartment. I think we're still talking with them, but I don't know. I don't know the status. I'll have to look into it.
Okay.
Yeah, Kirsten's out of town right now. She runs that program.
Any other questions on the downtown development? All right, thanks very much.
Thank you all.
All right. Public input? Still don't see anything online? Okay, so close public input.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Oh.
We have one more, Diana
Oh, there's-
Coley. Actually, on Barb. Hold on, bringing her to the panel
Oh, okay.
before we move on.
Oh, man.
Hi, Diana.
Morning, this is Diana Pancholi. I am the project planner for the Hope Street project, which is the 9-unit condo building.
Okay.
And just wanted to report back that city has been trying to reach out to the applicant and the developer to see where they're stuck. We are equally anxious. We haven't heard back from the developer. So actually the ball is really in the developer's court to kind of give us more updates on it.
Great. Thanks, Diana. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Now we will move on to 6.2 Castro Street update. I'm guessing that is the economic vitality manager.
Indeed. Let me share my screen. Okay. Just adding one more update that I forgot to the slide. Okay. Oh, righty. All right, I have a number of updates for you all, some of which are in the Downtown Digest, which you have, but wanted to note that the Decorative street treatment was power washed. A couple of things about this. One, I think we were all really surprised by how fast it got dirty.
Yeah.
It was like seemingly overnight after it had been installed. So that is something city staff is aware of that we're looking at. We are asking the downtown businesses to, keep us posted if there's any activity that's happening down there that might be impacting the street. It seemed like a lot of like oil-based stains. And so not sure what that is. But one of the challenges we have just in terms of our restrictions around, how we can clean is we can power wash with hot water, but we can't use cleaning agents because it runs into the street. Exactly. So, yeah, the team is aware of this, is working hard to keep it looking clean, but you can see, even just the power washing they were able to do was significant in
That's
terms of
huge.
it. So staff's working on ensuring regular cleanings for those. We are gonna power wash right after Art and Wine because
That's gonna be my next question,
it'll be
yeah.
a high foot traffic event. So there will be power washing that's already scheduled for that. But yes, this is one of the big things that we have is, keeping downtown looking fresh and clean. As is detailed in the Downtown Digest, might just go grab one. There are regular cleanings that happen of the sidewalks and the paseos, so all that's already built in. And I'm currently working on getting regularly scheduled cleanings of the garages. So I'm in the process right now of working with the contractor to get those scheduled, and I'm prioritizing, prioritizing the staircases because they seem to be in most need. And then just looking at parking data and our budget, prioritizing the power washing of the first couple floors. We're just not seeing as much use of the upper floors. And since I have limited funds, I really want to prioritize and focus on the higher traffic, higher use sections of the garages.
Also, the garages, some stairs are used more on this end than other ones, so. you can-
Yeah, I can tell you, I walked every single staircase and smelled and cited and prioritized based on necessity. So I am very aware. Yeah.
One thing that I really noticed, I think it's in the first block or the second block, there are a lot of cigarette butts in the alley and around the parking structure. And there's a couple of restaurants where the employees sit back and on their breaks and sit on the steps and smoke cigarettes and don't forget the cigarette butts. And they're really a lot. So I don't know if somebody else could maybe talk to the restaurateurs and suggest they have their employees clean up after themselves. But that all goes into the storm drains.
Yeah.
It's really need to get that.
All right, moving on. Oh, garage cleaning. I talked about this. Okay, so that's in the process of happening. I will keep you all posted on that. Just a reminder, we're in the final stretch of concerts in the plaza. Coming up just this week, we've got the Peelers coming. So just a reminder that that's still going on I think there's one the first week in October. So more coming on that. As we know,
Before you move on from that, I was just curious. I don't often get downtown for that. Do we do any sort of surveying to see like where people are from within the community that come down? I gather if you live in Old Mountain View or the Swan neighborhood, it's pretty easy, but if you live like over in Gemello neighborhood or up in Cuesta Park or stuff like that, or Waverly Park, you can't just walk over and, for music. And so it might be interesting to find out, where people are coming from in town to that. And if it turned out that it really is a downtown sort of based crowd, what could we do to make it easier for more of the community to engage in that?
Can I say something on it? So I go to both of those. I noticed that concert on the plaza, they're coming from other cities also, a lot of
Right.
people, about 300 people at one time. But the music on Castro, they're pretty much local
Mhm.
coming there, and I see very few people coming from
Yeah,
other part of the city. And
Yeah.
but those are well attended, you know, I mean, and. the
right. I
people-
mean, they're well attended, but
Yeah.
you know, it's like, you know,
Yeah.
it's, or, you know,
Yeah.
is the geography, you know,
Exactly,
precluding.
and people are, I mean, community members are vigilant, they sit down there, one of the members comes in and he watches how many people ride the bike or how many people walk the bikes and all that, and tell the city, and city put a sign on there, you know, things like that, so.
Yeah.
And
But to answer your question, if any like official surveying is done of attendees, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd have to ask our community services
Yeah.
department. who
Might
runs it.
be, might be interesting just to see if they have a sense. Because it, you know, it really should be, you know, try and get, you know,
Yeah.
open it up to more of the community rather than just the people who can, you know, walk a couple blocks and be there. I don't know what the answer is, but you know, whether it's more publication of the shuttle or, you know, things like that to get more people downtown or that sort of stuff. I don't know.
But
We could
we get
even
the,
put a little sandwich board up in front of the library, concert tonight or concert Friday night or whatever. So, because a lot of people go to the library, but they probably don't.
but we get an email from Chamber, is it right, about the event of San Antonio and all that, so we can put it.
But they
Yeah.
support that. This is city, so.
Yeah, so.
The Village of San Antonio pays for that ad
I
to
see,
to
okay.
go out.
Can I mean, I know the music on Castro is sort of more passive, it's not as well attended, but do we, you know, in terms of music, the music that happens, the concerts in the
Mhm.
plaza, do we feel like we need more attendees? Is that our goal, to get more attendees, or just we're just curious to learn more about that?
Well, I mean, one, I'm curious, but I'm really curious if segments of our community aren't participating
Mhm,
and
mhm.
why. You know, is it a mobility thing? Is it's like, I'm just not interested, or, you know, because, I mean, it's a community asset, but is it really only being used by people in Mountain View that live within walking distance of the plaza?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been in a while, but my understanding is it's packed, so I don't know that we want more people coming.
Nice, it's
If you don't
packed.
get your lawn chair there. then that's fine.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what my understanding, but yeah, I can certainly ask.
But I mean,
I
just as
think,
a general point, you know, to be
Yeah.
able to say, you know, it's like, well, okay. Oh,
yeah,
yeah, no.
It will be interesting because it changes who are the musicians, you know,
Oh,
there's
right,
different crowds. that come
The
in,
artist
you know?
matters.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, and I get all of that, but you know, but if the
Yeah.
data were to come in over a couple of shows that 80% of the people live within the central core of the, you know, central business district, you know.
Interesting
routinely,
information.
And
Yeah.
that says something that, you know, we're not serving the entire community. Or the entire community isn't taking advantage of this benefit for whatever reason or not, so.
Yeah, I mean, I do think at some point we're gonna wanna do some surveying of just downtown users in
Right.
general. Yeah, I'm not sure when we'll have capacity to do that, but I do think it would be interesting to connect with
Yeah.
people who are downtown, who are coming to events, and try and get a bigger picture of who's using our downtown and what some of the barriers might be. Okay. Peter, you wanna?
Party, party, party.
There's a party?
And if you haven't volunteered yet, please do. Yeah, so it is this weekend, the Art Mind Festival. We have, I kind of like to say we've built the roller coaster. It's almost time to get on and ride. You know, we've got a few minor things here and there that we've got to take care of, but all in all, things are on track. One thing that I do want to let people know is that we do have a new attraction, if you will, that is going to be the wine experience. A lot of people have said, you know, we like the wines that you serve in the booths, but we want to not just glug our 9 ounces, we want to sip, we want to taste, we want, you know, wine tasting experience. And so we've actually got 12 local wineries to be a part of this. We're going to set up separate tables where you can sit, and for $55 to your heart's content, you can sit there and sip those little glasses. And we'll also have a charcuterie board and some other things you can get there. And so we're really looking for that to be something new and exciting for people to who care about quality rather than quantity.
You'll make me start drinking now, huh?
I'm sorry?
Finally. You'll make me start drinking finally, huh?
No, you can go
Why?
for the charcuterie plate. We thought about you.
Right.
We actually are adding non-alcoholic beer also
right.
to our selection of things. So, you know, as everyone knows, it's different every year because, you know, not the exact same 413 booths come, you know, vendors. We have different ones. We'd like to make sure that we have ones that people really, really love and introduce some new ones too. Same thing with the music. So really should be an exciting time, and we hope you all make it.
So Peter, I was going to volunteer, but it looked like when I went online 2 days ago, almost all the volunteer positions have been filled.
If you want to volunteer, I am certain we will find a place.
I just don't want to
Nice try,
stand in the
Pam.
hot sun like I did 3 years ago and baked.
Well, the good news is today is going to be hotter than it is going to be this weekend.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, it'll be better, yeah.
All right, well, we'll let you connect offline and find Pam a nice shady spot to
Okay.
volunteer.
Okay.
But just, you know, a note, I think, Peter, your website had said, I mean, we're expecting almost 200,000 people coming downtown, which is just a huge opportunity for getting people to Mountain View. Just anecdotally, my parents went, their first time in downtown Mountain View, they came last year to Art and Wine. And since then, my mom is just like, I love downtown. I want to be downtown. So it was a really wonderful introduction, and it creates a sort of a lasting impression on people. So thank you to the chamber for putting on the event.
Let's just keep the ribbon clean until this
Yes, you're
weekend.
right.
I'll be out there with my toothbrush.
Just wanted to add, the friends I had the other day, they came by to the downtown. They were just amazed, you know, because they were from here 30 years ago. They just couldn't believe it, what we had done. Really appreciated it, enjoyed it. But I mentioned that about the chairs and things missing already. And then the cornhole boards are gone too.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. We've gotten some
People are
communication.
just.
I
using it.
I think it may be preemptive to Art and Wine because we have to pull all of that
Okay.
out there for the booths.
I see that already.
So it may be that we're just doing it in phases, but I'll confirm that things haven't disappeared for good.
Yeah, I mean, I do know that, you know, the entire street is going to be, you know, scrubbed of
Yeah,
most
scrubbed,
of their
yeah.
stuff. That, you know, the fences with the tables inside, that will remain, of course, because those belong to the restaurants. But almost everything else, except for the ping pong table, which weighs, you know, 5,000 pounds.
And the Connect Four.
And the Connect Four, you know, the things that are made out of concrete are not going to move, but everything else, the chairs and all that. And last year, I think the city did it in stages too. I think some things were gone by Monday, some things were gone by Tuesday, et cetera. So I just would not take anything at face value that you see on the streets right now. You know, it's
Yeah.
all.
But I appreciate that. And I did get someone reached out via Ask MV and said, where is all the chairs? So people are paying attention, which is good.
When was the last time Art and Wine was the first weekend in September?
Oh, it's been a while. It's been about 10 years since.
Wow.
That.
Yeah.
Usually?
Well, it's always it's always the weekend after Labor Day, but Labor Day hasn't been on the first in a long
In a
time.
long time.
Right. Okay.
I guess it could be like every 7 years, but then you throw in the leap years and
Exactly.
the cycle gets sort of crazy, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
There's more to come. My
Yeah, go ahead.
PowerPoint just crashed, so
oh,
keep chatting amongst yourselves for one second.
Well, this
And now
morning
we
when I
go to-
walked down
Yeah.
Castro, one of the city workers was.
oh, this is for real, you're not just.
No,
ad-libbing?
this is a true story this morning. So in any case, when I was walking from the train station this morning, there was a city worker watering the baskets, and I think the beauty of the baskets. People walk by and they don't pay any attention to them, and you look up and you go, oh my gosh, look at, there's almost stuff in the baskets, and I know it takes work to maintain that because we live in a dry climate in the summertime, but they really.
Yeah, thank you for that note, Pamela. I know they're working hard to keep them alive and then swap them out as they're, going through their cycle of living. So thank you for that note. All right, we're back up and ready to roll. Oktoberfest, another Peter item.
Still happening, yeah. And again, I think that we are very close to having, all the pieces in place for this one as well. We're really pleased to have it moved down the street so that we can have more booths and more activity. but also have it a little bit more open. A lot of people were saying that having it kind of in the back alley and stuff over on Villa Street was a little bit constraining. So we are trying to take the best that, the best of what happened last time and repeat it a few blocks away. And Stein's actually, donated a lot of things too. So we actually have the boots and other, signature pieces that were there from Oktoberfest.
Where is it at this year?
It's going to be right outside the chamber doors,
Oh,
in the big empty parking lot where the Wells Fargo building used to be. And then also that block of Castro Street is going to be closed off.
Yeah.
Until such
Alright.
time as Sobrato decides to
Find
start
our grants
building.
grant. Shh, shh, another year. Anyway, so we are taking volunteers for that event, and those will be in the shade, Pam. So,
Hopefully I'll be out of town.
okay.
Except those volunteers, like almost everything is filled.
They're filling up. They aren't sold out. That is the phrase I will continue to use.
Not according to when I looked at it yesterday.
Uh,
There's like 2 slots open.
All right, you
So-
two
But
work,
anyways,
you two
anyway.
work that out after the
Two open
meeting.
means not sold out. Okay,
Well, lots of good events happening downtown. Big shout out to the chamber for making this happen. All right, moving along. I wanted to come to you with our final design for the wayfinding project. This is pedestrian only wayfinding. There are 3 different sign types. So we'll have these directional signage, the sign here, the ones up at top, and they will be pointing to different, different destinations and points of interest in the downtown. The library, the Chamber of Commerce building, City Hall, Performing Arts Center, police station, and such. And then below each of the directional signs will be a plan map. So that's the sign there in the middle. That is actually will have a 5-minute walking radius. You can see really how walkable our downtown really is. And it'll give you a "you are here" little bubble. And then sort of identify some of the key features in downtown in terms of where things are in relation to you. And then we are adding parking identifiers. So each of the garages and parking lots actually do have numbers. And so in an attempt to help people to navigate back to their cars, we're going to be adding these little brightly colored signs, and they have these really cute little phrases to help you remember. So if you're in parking lot 2, the little phrase underneath the sign says, "It takes 2 to tango." So you're remembering so each of the ones will have those in the garages. And then, so you'll remember, okay, I'm in garage number 2. And then if you look at the plan map, it'll tell you exactly where that is. So all of those that's the system of signage. And we have the signs, which are really kind of unique. Just as a note, you can see, you've got the sign themselves and then the blades. So the actual signs represent different parts of Mountain View's history. And thank you to Pamela for weighing in. But you can see the apricots, which harken back to our agricultural history, technology and aviation. And then,
your voice is coming from outside here.
oh, that happened the other day. All right, hold on. Voice lit.
I think they're testing the PA system or something.
I think they are.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're in the chamber.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
out
think they
there.
plugged in this room just a moment ago. It's kind of
Okay, and then you can see the egrets and the owls representing some of our natural environment. So
Who was the artist on these? These are really cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
we hired a professional sign designer, Men Design. We've been working with them. We did a competitive RFP process to work with Jeremy and his team. And so we are just about ready to go out to a construction bidding process to have these manufactured. And we're hoping by the end of the year, early next year, to have these signs in the downtown. So going to be very cool. And like I said, I'm sure for those of you that have traveled to other downtowns, there's traditional signage, and then there's going to be Mountain View signage, which is going to be really unique and special. Yeah, Peter.
So a couple of things. First of all, very cool. I really love this. Is this person a local artist?
No, this is, he's a, he designs signs. That's what his business does. So
Yeah.
he's up in San Francisco, so
Okay.
local-ish.
Local-ish, I love giving cred to local people, and we might even do something below, local artist, blah, blah, created. But anyway, So first of all, one of the things that we talked about with wayfinding was also kind of stepping into the future a little bit. And so it's nice to have different things there. But if we could have a QR code or something like that, that went to, you know, a real live map, so you could see where the individual businesses were and things like that. And of course, that's all updated because it's all online. That could be really, really cool. And so I couldn't tell from the drawing there if there was a QR sign on there, but
Yeah,
I think that'd be easy to add and really, really beneficial for the businesses. Because there's no way you're gonna list all the businesses on the upper sign, right? So-
yeah. Our hope was to use the digital directories for those, and we talked about a QR code. We just don't have the capacity to maintain a website with a QR code right now, and so it's not something that's included on the signs. But I agree, we talked a lot about it.
Well, the chamber might be able to do something about that.
Right, well,
No, let's work together on that because I
Okay.
think that has a.
Yeah.
Because we're always comparing, you know, to you and in terms of
Absolutely.
what's in, what's out, and to keep that current, I think would be really, really cool.
okay, well, let's chat.
Okay.
So Amanda, the parking identifier, I love it because I've seen so many people, they say, where do they park? Where do they park? But would that identifier would be on the wayfinding sign also say, where is number 2?
So this is just signage in the parking garages. We are looking at a separate sign that'll be for, because this
Where
is,
number 2, yeah.
yeah, well, so the number 2 will be on these little signs here. It'll show,
Okay,
so as a
yeah,
pedestrian,
yeah.
you can find it, but from a vehicle, this is just signs for pedestrians.
Got it, got it.
We are looking as part of the parking implementation strategy that we're working on to look at vehicular wayfinding. So that's a whole other system, which will be much bigger signs and in more locations. But yeah, it's a good point. That's one of the things that we're seeing as we've started looking at some of our parking data is people are parking, like there are a couple of parking lots that are really impacted and people don't seem to know that there's tons of parking just, you know, mere seconds away. So
So
It's-
how many of these are you putting in the parking garage? So it's like right next to where they walk out, or is it gonna be in columns throughout? the
yeah, I
parking
think
garage?
they will be where people walk out so they can catch them. I can't remember how many per garage or parking lot we've had. Some of the parking lots, so they have light poles in them, so there'll be probably 4, one on each side of a light pole. Of 2 light poles in the parking lots. I can't remember in the garages how many we're ordering.
Stairwells.
But yeah, they'll be sort of at like points of entry and exit. Yeah,
Kind of like, when you go to like an airport parking lot, you're like, I'm at 4, you wanna be able to just look immediately to know where you're at.
know where you are. Yeah,
Yeah.
take a picture of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One other question was that we've been talking about repurposing the bus shelters.
Mhm.
Will one of these like blown up signs maybe go in one of the bus shelters? Or will we put it on a side of the bus shelter? I mean, it seems to me that's a logical place for people to see
Yeah,
stuff.
the goal is to get rid of the bus shelters. We don't currently have
Entirely.
a budget for it, so we're working towards how we can budget that in, so we can take them out completely.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, another project I'm working on, is our strategic communications project. So the map, I believe all of you have seen this map before, but I'll just sort of note, it's sort of our internal map that we pulled out, that talks about all the construction projects that are gonna be potentially happening in the next some odd years, with both private development, public projects. And so when this first came out a couple of years ago, we went, oh my, that's going to be a lot going on. And I'm happy to send a PDF to you of all of this. This was part of the off-agenda memo that went to council just a couple months ago. But anyway, really what this is hoping to exemplify is that there is a lot that's going to be happening in the downtown in the next couple of years. And there's going to be a lot of construction, which is great because we're seeing investment and improvements being brought to downtown. But it also means that there are potential impacts to foot traffic, to businesses. So as part of this, the city has hired Miller Maxfield, which is a communications and PR company, and they're going to be helping us to develop a toolkit, both for the city with our projects and how we communicate out, but also on the private development side, and to support businesses. So we can effectively communicate, we can work on some branding elements. So instead of a sign that just says, parking lot closed, it says, welcome to downtown, like there's parking just down the street. Like how can we soften messages to ensure people have a really positive experience? So some of our objectives for their work is one, to raise awareness for project timelines so people know when work is happening, what potential impacts there might be. We do want to mitigate impacts to the businesses and visitors, so having communication strategies so businesses are in the loop, to potential visitors are in the loop. We do want to build some excitement for some of our long-term projects. There's some really cool stuff that's going to be coming to downtown. There's projects and redevelopment happening already. That's really exciting. And then we also want to be promoting downtown just in general. So, as we're talking about the projects that are taking place downtown, come downtown now. There's great stuff happening right now. So I'll be bringing some more updates, but I just wanted to tee this up to you for you all. We're just at the very beginning stages of this work. Yeah, Peter.
Again, exciting stuff, and I'm really glad to see the communication. I'm glad to see the excitement behind it. One of the things that we talked about is when the green fences go up, and they inevitably will. Are we talking to anybody about artwork? Are we talking, whether it's public art, whether it's old photos of the neighborhoods and things like that? Are we thinking about some things to really, not make it a big green ugly fence?
Yeah, and we've asked them to put together some graphics. It's just the easiest, cheapest way, since we have them under contract, to have them design something.
Sure.
But we are hoping to put together like a couple of options so private developers could pick, and for city projects, we can put stuff up. But yeah, construction fencing is one of the deliverables I've listed out. Yeah.
It will definitely remain an optional item in terms of the private development. We will strongly encourage them. But
So that's
ultimately,
not considered a community benefit if they put a nice fence up.
no.
Yeah, but we are,
Unlike Paris or Rome, where you see the whole new building.
And you see the
It's been
facade. yes,
Printed
right,
on the.
and it can be really expensive. So we're also looking at taking a panel approach. So maybe it's not the entire fence, but there are little like panels of fencing. We want to make it as feasible as possible.
Again, I think that if we can get the developers in conversation to see that this is an opportunity rather than a cost, this is an investment in our local areas and things like that. That's more the direction of the conversation. I think that will be more positive.
Well, it will reflect positively on the developer when
Right.
you walk by and go, oh, well, this is really cool. And who's the project? Oh,
Yeah, so I
They
think.
thought about this.
Yes,
Yeah, they
right.
thought about us.
That's
That-
right.
That's
Yeah,
really
so I
I'm going
think
on
what
this,
we're
yeah.
doing is we are preparing everything that we can bring to the table.
Yeah.
In terms of preparing for it,
Mhm.
and have conversations with the
Yeah,
developers.
because if they have to think it up,
Our
then-
developers
yeah,
saying.
that's
Yeah,
definitely
exactly.
fine.
So more to come on this. I'm hoping to bring some of the graphics to the committee for input. So anyway, just teeing this up. Just noting that the new downtown digest went out on Friday. Hard copies are just over there. Electronic copies are online. If you want to take a stack for your family and friends, just let me know.
Do you have a stack for the chamber?
I'll bring in one by. Yep, I've got a couple things. I've got a pile of things to bring to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, and I'm missing one update. Hold on. Well, I'll let Diana do her update. And then I'm missing it. An
Yeah, I was
update.
gonna say, Jamil.
Jamil, how'd you get in there?
Okay, and I'll hand it off to Diana for.
Thank you, Jamil. Again, Diana Controli, Principal Planner and Project Manager for the Downtown Precise Plan Update. So I was listening to the earlier conversation and what happened during June. So what we did is we actually prepped for a lot of community outreach on this Precise Plan Update project. August was a really busy month for us, following up on all the individual stakeholder meetings we did with the neighborhood association and different groups. We met with a lot of you as part of that between January to June this year. And in August, we actually hosted a lot of community outreach events. We tabled at the farmers market, talked to more than 200 people. We came out at the National Night Out. This is Jamil's picture from the National Night Out. We had a lot of people whom we talked to at National Night Out as well. And this was all in preparation of inviting people, providing information for them to come and join us at the community workshop. That was our first community workshop. I don't remember when was the last time we actually did citywide noticing for a planning policy project. But in this case, for our community workshop, we actually sent out mailers to every residence in the city, considering the importance of downtown as everybody's downtown in the city. In addition to that, we also reached out to people through various means like the online interested parties list. We asked Chamber to help us out to inform the Chamber members, sent out messages to and emails to business community for them to come and attend. This was the picture on the right is from our community workshop. We are very glad it was very well attended. We had around 84 people in the community who actually came out. A couple of our downtown committee members were there, so thank you for attending. And the focus was in line with, you know, the outreach that we've been doing so far, trying to understand the assets, opportunities, the strengths, and then vision and goals that people have for the future of downtown. So this was the first community outreach meeting that we had, the community workshop that we had, and we'll have more in the future. But where this is going is, you know, right now the project team is synthesizing the information that we have received through various stakeholder meetings and the community workshop. And we will be coming to the Planning Commission and City Council later this year. Planning Commission, I know it's tentatively scheduled for October 15th. There'll be more like a study session or a new business item where we'll be presenting the information that we have gathered so far, some of the themes that have come out, and get some more directions from them as well. When I was doing the public engagement on the community workshop, I heard a lot from people who reached out and said, I can't make it to an in-person meeting. So following that, we have also put together a survey with similar questions that we asked at the community workshop. And that survey is active right now. It's on the project webpage, and it's available in English, Spanish, and Chinese. So trying to get even more input from people before we go back to our decision makers.
What's the deadline on the survey?
I think it is September 18th. So yeah, we've been busy on that one project for sure.
All right. And then my final update just around downtown, it's in the Downtown Digest, but the Lot 12 Affordable Housing Project did receive its sort of round of funding from the state. And so this project will be moving forward, which is really exciting. So that project will be happening as the crow flies, right? Just down the street here from City Hall. And we're anticipating construction, staging, and work to start early 2026. So late January, early February, they're going to start blocking off that parking and start working towards that project. So this is one of the projects on our strategic communications list that we're going to be working with the developer on how they're communicating out and making sure the businesses and visitors are in the loop.
So I have not been to the farmer's market in a long time, but Lot 12 was used to, I don't know if it still is, the alternative site for the farmer's market during game weekends. What's
Yep,
the plan?
they have, I'm bringing an item to council, not next week, next week, for approval for them to use it throughout the fall. And then they've got a potential game in January. And so they're planning to use that. And then I'm in pretty much weekly conversations with the farmer's market, working on an alternative site. So I'm working to figure out where they're going when that.
Do you have options, or is it still just like?
There's a couple of options. Yeah, we're looking at other parking lots in the downtown, other streets. Part of our challenges are from the farmer's market perspective, some of the streets are more narrow than they would like. So it doesn't work for their layout where they have trucks and then booths. And some of our parking garages, just the shape of them, they kind of have to model out how they can get all the rows and where the flow of traffic is. So we just haven't found an alternative site. So we're looking at ways to kind of maybe combine areas and streets closures. And so we have a lot of options we're looking at. None of them are perfect, but we're, because it's their alternative site, we're hopeful that it could be good enough as a alternative location when they're not able to be at the
How many games per year?
last year it was 8, this year it's 6. Yeah, so it's not a ton of,
Unless they make the playoffs and then it's very annoying. How many weeks you're going to the alternative site.
exactly.
That's still pretty significant as far as.
And does that include Super Bowl?
So this year Super Bowl is, yeah, well, obviously we'll be here.
February 12th or something.
But is that one of the six?
It is not because the developer hasn't been able to commit yet to the site being available. So they're still, since funding just came through, they're pulling all of their pieces together. So we'll know more from them as we get closer. Yeah.
So are you only looking at then just for the replacement game days and not like a longer term solution? If there's like a parking garage?
For
You're not
now-
looking at that one yet, that's
Right, we're-
like tabled.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No, I have a comment on a different item.
Okay.
I wanted to just report back.
Okay. So last report out from Diana and then we can close out this update.
Yeah, to Peter's question on if the artist for the wayfinding signage was local artists. So Jeremy Mende from the Mende, the company that we hired, he used to be a Mountain View resident. He's not anymore.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Good call.
Well, part of the reason I asked this, and that's a great little hint there, is that, the Mountain View Voice is always looking for stories. And so if you have a bio or something like that, you could send us, we can talk to the Voice about maybe getting something in there, because
Oh, okay, yeah.
unveiling these street signs made by local artists, I mean, that's always.
Emily always looking for a story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's maybe coordinate when they're in and we can start getting some publicity for it. That would be great.
So just one comment here about the Castro Street. I've noticed that graffiti is just down, way down, and we don't see that much graffiti.
I know.
lately, yes.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, no, I just want to make sure that it's, keep it that way. And another one is the bus shelter, which you brought up, and you were saying that we remove it. Probably we could put the bike racks there. So
One of the things that we're looking at, yeah, is replacing them with bike racks in the interim.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great.
Right.
Okay. Still see no members of the public, nobody else online.
Yes, there is no one online.
Okay, so we will close out item 6.2 and move on to item 7, new business and the downtown business improvement area, 7.1.
All right, that's my item as well. So you have your report in your packet, as well as a map of the business improvement areas. But just a little bit of background. So we have 2 business improvement areas, or BIAs. And you can see the map there. The portion in red is BIA 1, and then the light blue is BIA 2. So 2 assessments that are kind of layered on top of each other. The first business improvement area was established back in the 80s, as you can see, and more or less the precise plan area. It's pretty close to following what the precise plan is. And the formula is based on the type of business. And then it was determined that actually, the businesses along Castor Street and kind of those first 3 blocks really get a lot of the benefit of the district. And so it was determined back in the early 90s to create an additional business improvement assessment for those businesses that are getting a lot of the benefit to be assessed, to have an additional assessment. And so you can see those areas in blue there, and they're based on the type of business, the size, and the location. So again, BIA 1, so it's specifically, is it restaurant, is it retail, is it, professional? BIA 2, again, the type of business, but then looking at the square footage. And just so you have a sense of how much is assessed, I just did some rough numbers. So the minimum that a business is going to get assessed is $500, and the maximum that any business gets with the combined fees is $375 a year. The average business is paying about $176 for a year's worth of business improvement benefits. So quite low, but you can see the projected revenues for 2026. And just a note, so the funds go to the business improvement, downtown business Association, which is run by the chamber. And the funds are used for marketing, events, promotion of the downtown, and I'll let Peter speak a little bit more to that in just a second. But just to close this out, so the next steps, following a vote here from the downtown committee to move forward with this, we have the first public hearing on later this month on the 23rd, where council will review the report provided by the chamber, provide any inputs, and then it'll come back October 28th for the final approval and the levying of the assessments. And then those funds will be allocated to the chamber. So I'll pause there and see, Peter, do you want to?
So just before you go, I'll just note that adjusted for inflation, $38,000 in 1983 would be worth $123,000 today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter.
You hit on my pain point. So, is the 23rd confirmed, by the way, to go to council?
Can you send us a reminder on that?
So we've had discussions on the BIA before, among this group here. Some who are new to the group, I'll just, give the Reader's Digest version, which is that this is, it's actually a step. It's something sponsored by the state where you have to apply for it. You have to have certain rules and restrictions that you can do. And there are different kinds of improvement districts. There are tourist business districts. There are food business districts. You name it. There's probably a business district for it. The idea is kind of like homeowners dues. So a business pays into it so that they can get the benefits. And the benefits for this particular kind of business improvement district is really supposed to be marketing. And really strictly marketing. And yet, because they are, the Downtown Business Association is affiliated so strong with the chamber, we throw more into it. We do advocacy on behalf of downtown and other things. And in any event, as you might guess, $50,000 is better than last year, which was $47,000 last year. It was $45,000 the year before. So I like the trend in that more businesses are paying in. But it's still very, very hard from an economic standpoint to validate all the things that we do with that price tag on it. And so we've had a number of conversations, partially in this group, but also in other groups and with the city as well, about what could we do to go back to our businesses and kind of renegotiate and say, we need to raise the rent. We need to raise the fees in some ways to be able to support all the things that we can do. That activity, John Lang was kind of helping me lead that activity. With his departure, we've kind of taken it back a little bit. We need to start that up again at some point and decide, do we want to do a BIA or do we want to do another one's called a property BID or a PBID? Are there other ways that we could do this? But our current situation is not sustainable, is I guess what I'm trying to say. And we want to do so much more for downtown, but we can't afford it. And so how do we, move forward on that? It's really the question ahead of us.
As someone who pays this tax, until I got involved in this and until I started keeping track of things that the Chamber of Commerce does, I wasn't really aware of any tangible benefits. I got the invoice of, okay, I guess I just pay this to be here.
And thank you for that.
Yeah, I wasn't actually sure what I was paying for. So if there was some way I could find out, actually, this is where this amount of that $50,000 went to, a report or where did it go?
You have it in your hand, actually.
Yeah. But as a business, I didn't necessarily see that.
Yeah, your point is very well taken. We have done a very poor job of communicating all the value that we provide. We provide it to the city, but we don't provide it to our businesses. This report that we put out for the city that's now part of your packet here, we do make available. We haven't broadcasted or anything. And I think you're right that we would do much better if we actually sat down with the business and said, here's the value that you get. Here's why you are a member. Here's what you get. Yes, absolutely.
I think it's also important to note, you keep saying, this is the business's district. The business voted for this district to impose this fee on themselves.
That's true.
To enhance themselves. So this is your business improvement district. not the cities, we just, or the chamber, they just manage it. Yeah.
Well, I definitely wasn't around in the eighties to vote for it.
But we're gonna hold you to it anyway.
Good point.
No, but again, I think the point you're making, which is absolutely something we believe, is that, you know, there needs to be more communication with the businesses as to what the value is for, and it's not just this invisible charge, if you will.
Mhm.
That's not fair to anyone.
Can I ask a follow-up question, Sean? What, in your perspective, what would be the best way to get that information to you or to, you know, you representing businesses?
So I guess usually I'm not sure if when we were taking care of this, we put in our email or something like that, but there's various other ways that I provided my email to other things for this, and then sometimes you get an email back, or someone occasionally drops off the flyers for other news, things like the Mountain View Voice and something else. So just other kinds of an actual report of where it all went, exactly like that. But how do we actually get that to a business so they know, oh, this is where the money was spent?
What are you saying, that email would be an effective way if we could somehow?
Email would be for me. I'm not
Okay.
sure about other people.
Okay. Yeah, we're just always looking, how can we best reach
Yeah.
businesses? So, yeah.
Would you read, like, so I guess I'm not a business owner, but I'm like,
I
I
would
really want a
probably not
Cliff
read
Notes
that.
version of
Right,
this,
yeah.
like, give me a one pager, like, boom, boom, chamber, great. Click here for more information, right? Like, and then like slide it under their doors, or
Yeah.
actually, I don't know, because.
For a 30-second YouTube.
Well,
I could do 30 seconds, yeah.
It also so depends on the business, and the running joke we have is that I could walk into some of our businesses with $500 in cash and say, talk to me for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I gotta serve 6 more tables, totally get it,
Yeah.
but that's the challenge. And so that's why understanding, how do we reach people is so important. And it's also one of these, chicken and egg things. It's like, well, with a bit more money, we could do more outreach, kind of thing. So I love the comments. I love the question, and we continually look for ways that we can do that kind of outreach. But I agree with you, a Reader's Digest version, a quick summary of just like, here's your tax dollars at work kind of, statement, except that it's not tax dollars, it's your BIA dollars. Just to know what you're getting is important. I think we could do something that's very simple that just goes out, and whether it's in the digest, whether it's in our thing or whatever. And in fact, when we talk about redoing the BIA or looking at some other mechanism, it demands a vote from the members to make a change. So there's a campaign that would go with any of these sort of things, where it would be a lot of public meetings, a lot of things to happen. There are companies that do this for a living, as you might guess, consultants that charge tens of thousands of dollars to go out and knock on doors and all that sort of thing. So again, it's one of those chicken and the egg things, can't afford it, but that's kind of what you need to do in order to raise the money. So,
Although it is only an election, it's only a vote of the people in the district,
Right.
not the community at large.
Yeah.
Maybe like what they call it, the pie chart, the round thing, how much money goes where.
So that is exactly what people, I think, actually care about. But I get 3 pages in to find it.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
If this was the headline, nice pie graph that said this is where the money went.
And that's what I'm saying. Something simple like that, yes, we should do, but there's more education that needs to happen as well. So. Thank you.
This does not require a vote from us. This is-
We voted on it on the past. Let's vote on it.
Okay,
Just for,
We're voting to accept it.
yes, vote,
and to recommend to council.
yeah, I would say taking a vote to recommend council's approval of the.
Right.
2026.
Is there such a motion?
I don't think I can make it.
Yeah, I would say
I don't know why
probably
not.
not.
Because he's gonna guess it.
He's the one getting the money, so I think that, yeah.
Vote then.
Yeah.
They're my words on this page. I don't know if I can do that.
Okay, you're
Okay,
still-
I move that we accept the, what are we calling it? The Downtown Business Improvement Area Report 7.1, and recommend that it be passed on to council
And recommend council approval.
and recommend council approval.
All right.
Second?
You, Sean.
Oh, Sean, okay. Any questions? Seeing no members of the public,
Yeah.
so public input, no public input. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
And I abstain.
Oh, abstentions.
One more
Okay.
item. Mhm. Last item, sorry, it's 7.2, it's missing the 2.
Right, the ad hoc committee report out.
Yeah, it's just a brief report out, so, committee members, Lynn and Vice Chair Baird are sitting on our ad hoc subcommittee, which is a joint committee with the Visual Arts Committee and Performing Arts Committee. Just a brief update that we're currently working on a joint, artist reception at the Center for Performing Arts as a way to kind of bring some activity to downtown and promote some of our arts assets. More to come on that, but we're looking at I believe a February, March date for that. So the committee's had one meeting, we're working on a second meeting, but just wanting to keep you all abreast of what's happening. Anything from our ad hoc committee members?
Well, I have to admit, when I saw this line item, I had a panic attack and thought, were we supposed to do something and we didn't do it?
Nope.
So my understanding was that we were supposed to meet more frequently than.
And you should have an email with
There's
a
a doodle
doodle poll asking you
For
for
like
your next
September.
availability. Yeah,
Okay, so that was.
Summer break.
That was sent out a couple weeks, last week?
I think
I
a
already
week or
filled it
2
out.
ago. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
Okay.
evidently missed that. Yeah, because I. How do I want to put this? And I say, I don't want this to atrophy. And staff is organizer on this, but I'd certainly like to make sure that a lot of effort's been put together already. I'd like to
Yeah.
continue to work. on
Yeah,
it.
so make sure you fill out the doodle poll. I think we're hoping to meet later this month to kind of on the next steps. Yeah, but just wanting to keep the committee in the loop on subcommittee, ad hoc committees.
Okay,
All right.
great. Is this the second? No, this is, so rather than go back to 7.2, Peter, I think, could make a follow-up announcement from the DIA in section 8, committee staff comments.
Okay, thank you. So for those of you who don't know, about three years ago, which is the end of the pandemic, we held a downtown open house, if you will, where we had about 7 or 8 of our businesses in Monte Carlo. They stood up on stage, basically said, "This is who we are. This is what we do. Here's a face to the business, type of thing." And it was really designed to get people to understand this is what Shop Local really means. These are the people behind it. These are the businesses that you're supporting and how they need your help. And it was really effective. We had about 50 people, and it was just a good vibe in the room. But it also was one of those things where please shop here rather than, online or something like that. And I think people heard it from real humans, and that made a difference. We want to do that again. And so on the 25th of September, gosh, that's this month, isn't it? In about 3.5 weeks, we will be doing it again in the Monte Carlo. We're actually planning on more like 120 people. We're going to have it downstairs in Monte Carlo. We will have a panelist and a panel, I'm sorry, and Christian from the city, Christian Murdoch, will be our moderator, and we'll actually have a dialogue that here's what's going well, here's where we still have needs and things like that. We'll also have videos from different businesses saying, "Hi, I'm Juan from Ava's," or whatever, and and things like that we'll be showing. And it'll be a real chance again to get to know the neighborhood, get to have people get to know our businesses, and really hear what's top of mind for them. And so I encourage you all to put that down on your calendar, 9/25 at 5:30. And I do believe, don't tell us widely, but I do believe that Marina's dad is going to be serving as goulash. But again, it's a chance for this kind of open dialogue that is so needed.
You have a permanent place on a front yard for Shop Locals sign.
I have one, but do
Yeah.
you?
How are you advertising that? Like, I see the email from the chamber about it, but
Yeah.
like, how about the broader community?
We send it to all the neighborhood associations so that they can get the word out.
No, I meant to say that you have a permanent place. I have it permanently
Yeah, he's got a
signed.
little sign in his front yard.
Excellent.
Now, there won't be any restrictions on the number of downtown committee people that can attend that, because that's not a city.
It's not a Brown
function.
Act thing, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
I think there may be a restriction on the city council members who can attend, but that's not my department.
I'll look into it.
It's an open meeting to anybody.
Yeah, it's an open meeting, so I think it's okay.
What if we don't sit together?
Yeah, no, downtown committee should be fine. I don't know about city council, but I think it's fine for them as well, since it's a publicly noticed meeting.
We're gonna check on the Brown Act issue and get back to you all.
Thank you.
There goes a Kulashan.
We're still doing reports?
Well, we're doing committee, section 8, committee questions, committee reports, so comments.
So, I'll go ahead and go unless somebody else has something to say. So, as the Mountain View Historical Association, we conducted walking tours on June 22nd, July 27, and August 24, and we had an average of about 8 people. This was a little lower than we normally have. So anyway, I enjoy doing those, and maybe we can team up more with the chamber and get those announcements out about the walking tour. They're fun. I conduct them, and we really have a lot of interested comments from people, and they're big fun. And I also talk a lot about the infrastructure in the city, and we talk about what Castro Street is going to look like in the future. So it's not just the past only that we talk about.
Is your patronage different every time?
Oh,
Or do
yeah,
you, okay.
yeah.
So,
Actually, we get people from San Jose and Sunnyvale. They're looking for something to do, or they might have grown up in the area and they live, someplace else. So I will say that we don't get very many high school students, but a broad section of people. And the next one will be the 4th Sunday of September, which is the 28th, I think it is, will be the next one.
Do you have an October one? Set?
Whatever the 4th Sunday. of the
Okay,
month.
so 4th Sunday. Okay, we can maybe see if we can get it in the next
And-
digest.
Community guide in the visitor center too.
And that was one thing, maybe we should get some flyers and.
and we also have the used to be called the Commissioners Dinner, but the
Celebration of the year,
the
September 30th.
appreciation event
Celebration,
coming up.
September 30th,
Right.
Yes, Mike recorded a video
and thank you.
on behalf of the
Have
committee.
you ever thought about like working with the elementary schools? Cause it's in 4th grade, like California State History Year. I think it'd be really like kind of cool.
Well, I
to,
did one
take-
walking tour well, we can talk about it. I did a walking tour for Stevenson School, and they had 3 different classrooms, and let's just say 2 of the classrooms segments were very well.
Is that the word you're looking for?
Self-discipline. The 3rd one was not, and it was a real challenge trying to keep these kids paying attention. So, and unfortunately, fortunately, that was the last one that I did. If it would have been the first one, I would have said, no, sorry.
There's got some parent volunteers, right? Stevenson.
Yeah.
And it still is.
Okay.
Well, a lot of it depends on the parents and how much
Yeah.
exercise the parents control over children. One other comment, and I don't want to slide into discussion.
Remember, just on comments,
Yes,
so,
I know. I'm making a comment.
okay, go ahead.
Making a comment that people are really interested in the history of Mountain View, and I think that was evidenced at the downtown precise plan on the outreach. And maybe because my ears are tuned that way, but a lot of the comments from the report backs from each of the tables, people are really hungry for the history of Mountain View, and I think we need to continue to push that.
In fact, one of the suggestions was to open a museum.
Yeah. Okay, and you.
No, I'm just
Been there,
saying.
done that.
Been there, done that.
That was one of the things came from the table I was sitting at.
Oh, I
so,
know,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Been
But
there,
I'm
done
reinforcing your statement of interest,
that.
not saying, yes, sign up for that and do that.
Okay,
Okay.
any other comments? If not, we'll move on to item number 9, and we will adjourn. Do you, Amanda, do you want to just do calendars to see if we can set up an agenda?
Okay, well, let's close this one out.
Oh, right,
Let me
okay.
Stop recording.